I think I have finally mastered the care of the Radermachera plant. After a lot of trial and error, I am ready to share my tips, including the mistakes I made. In spring, my China doll was thriving, new leaves popping out everywhere, and it looked so lush and full. But when winter arrived, everything changed. It started shedding leaves, especially from the bottom, and looked a bit bald. At first, I could not figure out what was wrong, but after some observation, I realized there were a few mistakes I was making, and they all had to do with not adjusting my care routine for winter. So, today I'll share exactly what I have learned to keep this plant happy through winter and stop that frustrating leaf drop. The first mistake I made was not ensuring enough light for my Chanadol plant in winters. I live in an apartment with an east facing balcony, and during winter the morning sunlight it gets isn't as strong as in summer. Because this plant is big and heavy, I cannot move it to a better lit spot. It gets about 2 hours of direct morning sun and indirect light for the rest of the day. While it's doing okay in these conditions, I have to be extra careful with other aspects of its care to make up for the lower light. If you have the option, place your plant in a spot with bright indirect light or use a grow light to help it thrive during these darker months. My second mistake was overwatering. In summer, this plant loves being watered every other day to keep the soil moist, but in winter, its growth slows and it doesn't need as much water. Now I let the top inch of soil dry out completely before watering. I've cut back the watering once every 7 to 10 days, depending on how quickly the soil dries. Overwatering is one of the main reasons for leaf drop, so don't skip these adjustments in winter. The third issue was low humidity. Winter air gets drier, and especially if heaters are running indoors, and this plant loves humidity, so the drier air was stressing it out. To fix this, I started misting occasionally and placed a pebble tray under the pot. A small humidifier nearby can also work wonders. These small steps have helped maintain the lushness of its leaves. Mistake number 4, ignoring dusty leaves. This plant has numerous small leaves, which makes it very tricky to clean them one by hand. Since this is a big plant and I keep it in my balcony, it tends to collect more dust compared to the plants I keep indoors. To tackle this, I simply shower the plant with water every few days. A gentle rinse helps remove all the dust while keeping the leaves clean and allowing them to breathe properly. Remember, dusty leaves can block light absorption, which impacts the plant's growth. Regularly cleaning the leaves will not only keep your plant healthy but also make it look lush and vibrant. Radermachera is known for being sensitive to change. It doesn't like being moved frequently. If you keep shifting its place, it can become stressed and start shedding leaves. Once you find a suitable spot with proper light and condition, avoid moving it unnecessarily. If you do have to move it, try to place it in a location with similar light, temperature, and humidity to minimize the shock. So, remember here, stability is the key for this plant, so let it settle in one place and focus on maintaining consistent care. Here are some extra winter care tips to keep your Radermachera in top shape. First, keep your plant in room that stays between 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. Avoid placing it near drafts, heaters, or AC vents as it hates sudden temperature changes. Second, this plant loves high humidity, so use a humidifier, pebble tray, or mist it occasionally. Third, don't fertilize your China doll in winter. It's resting and doesn't need that extra nutrients. Save the feeding for spring and summer when it starts growing again. Fourth, winter is not the time to prune this plant unless you're removing dead or yellowing leaves. For shaping or encouraging bushy growth, wait until spring when the plant starts to grow actively. If your plant is still shedding leaves, don't panic. It's normal for a few leaves to drop as it adjusts to winter. But if it's losing a lot, revisit your care routine. Are you overwatering? Is the humidity too low? Check these points and make small adjustments. Remember, some patience and consistent care go a long way. By spring, your plant will reward you with fresh growth. To recap, the key to keeping your Chanadol happily in winter is to adjust your care routine, give it proper light, water sparingly, maintain high humidity, clean its leaves, and avoid temperature extremes. I hope my tips helps you avoid the mistakes I made. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more plant care tips. Have questions on your own Chanadol care tips? Drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you have watched this video till now, then the next video is just for you. See you in the next video and happy gardening.